All right, hey there, everybody. My name is Samuel. I did a disc review of some popular molds with Discmania in their new S-Line plastic. And we have the PD, the FD, and the DD3. Probably some of their more popular molds that they have. I'm a personal fan of the PD. I bag it myself in their C-Line plastic. And as far as the S-Line goes, I love the feel of the plastic. It's a touch domier than most of the C-Line discs. Stiffness-wise, it's definitely on the somewhat stiff scale, maybe a little stiffer than the C-Line as well still. So it feels real good. It's not slippery, but not tacky. So it's really nice plastic. I dig it. The FD looks just like the normal FDs from the C-Line. It's got a nice kind of somewhat dome to it. Also somewhat stiff, and same with the DD3. They seem to be very consistent as far as just having a little bit of dome, which is going to give it some good glide. But good feel in the hand. Plastic feels great. So got a chance to go throw these in the field. There was a touch of wind. You'll see me throwing away from camera, and that had a tailwind about 8 miles an hour, and then throwing into the wind coming back about 8 miles an hour. So you'll get to kind of see how they hold up with a touch of wind. Nothing crazy, but some elements that are pretty common everywhere. So let's take a look and see how they fly. All right, first up we got the PD. As I said, this is into a bit of a headwind. Got the nose up a little bit, threw it on a slight hyzer, and it did get a little bit of turnover. So it's not a meat hook, but it definitely has some nice stability. This is into that tailwind. I threw this one nice and low and hard, and it didn't turn over. It kind of stood up a little bit, but got a nice skip at the end, which I really liked. Really good for straight shots you can trust. Put this one on turnover, into a headwind. Definitely dropped it, but you could see that it held the line nice and good. And into a tailwind with a little bit of turnover. That's probably the best flight I got out of it. Got some nice carry, some good glide. Now the FD, definitely on the flippier end, so throwing into that headwind. Knew I had to put a lot of hyzer onto it, and it was still gonna finish on hyzer, but I was pretty impressed that it had a little bit of comeback at the end. That was nice. I tried to stand still because, you know, especially on that East Coast, you gotta thread the needle sometimes from a standstill, and it held up to that headwind pretty well. Now this throw had a little bit of slip, but probably one of the nicer flights, funny enough, into that tailwind. Held up nice, got some good glide. And that was a low screamer. You could see that it definitely has some turnover on it, even in a tailwind. Now the DD3 is a bomber. This thing, that was my first throw with it, and it was a little flippier than I expected. I figured into a tailwind it would just stay straight, but made the correction and had a nice, good height on this one. Let it bomb, and you could see it just carries to the right and then has a reliable finish. Definitely could make the bag. Now into a headwind, I noticed I had to definitely put some hyzer on it. Got it in the air on this one a little bit, the nose up, but didn't turn and burn on me. Definitely had some carry. And then this one was probably one of my better throws with it. A nice low screamer on a deep hyzer, and it came all the way back around. Parked the cameraman, which you may not get to see, but definitely a good disc. All right, so to wrap up, I'll give you my final thoughts on these three discs. The PD, not a meat hook, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's really important to have a 10-speed, kind of that hybrid fairway / distance driver that you can throw in a headwind, throw in a tailwind, throw in a forehand. This thing is going to be a really good all-around disc for a lot of people. You do need some good arm speed for it to get that straight flight and then finish. But I think even with a newer player, they'll find some good use with this disc for sure. The FD, I think, is a great all-around disc for anybody. Everybody needs a fairway driver that's a zero 01. Straight flyer for, you know, strong arms are gonna get a hyzer flip out of it, but you're gonna be able to maneuver around the woods with that, or in an open field, get that reliable left to right on a backhand right hand, and seems to just have a lot of glide with that nice dome on it. And then the DD3, I just lost my flippy destroyer, so this bad boy might have a chance to make the bag. I really liked it. It has tons of glide, tons of speed, reliable finish, but certainly is gonna flip up for a power thrower. But I think that's important if you're trying to get max distance, is to get something that's not overstable, something that's gonna be straight to understable, and be able to get that full flight out of the disc. So really excited to get more of these in so we can see what colors they send us. Excited to bag one, maybe even two of these. As usual, head over to our site, otbdiscs.com. We get pictures of every disc. We show you the flatness and the stiffness so you know exactly what you're getting. See ya.